Morning. This is the April 16, 2025 meeting of the Buffalo Regional Board of Review. This hearing is being held via video conference call WebEx at the following locations: Amherst Town Hall, 5583 Main Street, second floor, Williamsville, New York, 14221. The time is 9 o'clock and the hearing is officially open. The members of the board are Rick Andrews, Peter Clayman, and Andy Ellis. Attending remotely, my name is John Leyden. I am the chairman. We also have from the Department of State, Chris Jensen. We have two folks that are recusing themselves today. They are David Flynn and John Shenny. We will now hear the scheduled petitions. When you speak, please address the board and give your name, title, and legal address so that our court reporter can have all the information requested. We may have to stop from time to time to consult with our technical staff. In making comments to the board, please provide a descriptive narrative on other matters referring to your exhibits to enable the court reporter to enter these into the record. Petition number 2025-0095. Aggrieved party, Michael Anderson, Abstract Architecture PC, nature of grievance and relief sought. Petition pertains to the construction of a 3,900 square foot mixed use building. The occupancy classification of the proposed building is self-storage, self-service storage, group S1, moderate hazard storage, and business, group B, business office. The building is proposed to be of construction type 2B, non-combustible, unprotected, single story in height. The total area of all 10 proposed buildings combined is 43,425 square feet in gross floor area, known as the County Road Self-Storage Facility, located at 9490 County Road, Town of Clarence, County of Erie, State of New York. Petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR Part 1225, the Fire Code of New York State, Section 903.2.9, Condition number 5, which reads that in all buildings containing an S1 occupancy be provided with an automatic sprinkler system when the building is over 2,500 square feet and is utilized for the storage of upholstered furniture or mattresses. The petitioner is seeking relief from providing automatic sprinkler systems within the mixed occupancy structure containing over 2,500 square feet of S1 occupancy. At this point, you may come forward and present your case.
Loudly so we can hear you and stuff. Good morning, Michael Anderson, Abstract Architecture, 313 Broadway, Buffalo, New York, 14214.
Charles Kalkenberg, 27 True Off, Amherst, New York, representing Kelco Construction.
Can I have a spelling for that name?
Kelco.
Oh, I'm sorry for your name.
Charles Kalkenberg, Kelken. No one ever. BERG.
I'm sorry. I have to speak up a little bit here.
Where'd you end up?
I got Charles, K-E-L.
KENBERG.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, thank you for your time. We've made, in our submission, we made a primary argument that we have subdivided this building into smaller portions than the 2,500. We've used fire-rated assembly walls to not only break up the building into two, one for a smaller portion which has the business office and that is exactly, and several small in corridor access storage things, but then the larger portion, the rear section is also less than the 2,500 square feet. We have also made sure that we have a second means of egress out of the front portion that is within the maximum distance of egress. Again, being that these are corridor accessed, interior corridor accessed storage units, the only storage units of that type that we have in the entire facility, and that is primarily because the business office is there, and we see the majority of as you're aware by code, we have to provide a minimum number of ADA accessible storage units. So this building in particular is fully accessible to meet, actually it exceeds the number of units we have to provide. So combined with the separation of the building into smaller areas, multiple egresses out of each, of the areas, a fire separation wall with an armed door that would, close in the event of a fire. We're also proposing, a full fire alarm notification system that would, notify occupants of this building. Primarily, we're thinking it would be people in the business or people visiting, their storage locker that an alarm has gone off, and that would notify the entire building, allowing them to egress safely.
So for the heck of it, I can't see it really well, but I see the double door coming out of the storage area.
So that double door is a fake door. They would go through the fire door
They're
into,
going through the fire.
yes, there's all exits and everything, and they would come out the second door on the north.
And,
So technically, there's three exits out of any space
okay,
that are within the maximum distance.
okay. So we have a rated corridor.
No. Yes, because the storage units are themselves pre-manufactured as a 1 hour rated construction.
So when I go through the door towards the office, am I now out of the rated corridor?
That corridor is also rated,
But you,
but I'm in another fire area.
Yes.
and, as much as the partitions themselves are rated, the doors don't have closures or anything like that.
That door, yes.
But the individual.
Oh, no, it's your
Yeah,
standard,
in that
yes,
case.
standard overhead roll-up door, yes.
Got it. Got it.
Is there anything else that you wanted to present?
You have anything?
Well, do you want to talk about the
So, well,
You mentioned this fire alarm system.
yeah, it's just a notification system. It would have detectors, detection devices throughout that entire building. It would be interconnected and it would have a notification system that would be monitored.
So refresh me, why don't the other buildings, why are we talking about all the other buildings?
Because we filed for a separate variance for them because the code is changing. And in the near future, they would not require a sprinkler system.
Okay,
The other buildings have exterior access only, to my best
Correct.
understanding.
Yes,
still well over the square footage.
yes,
Under the 12,000 for
correct.
the next code,
Right,
but
right.
over the 2,500 for this code.
Yes. Yeah, we were approved based on the next code coming in.
Which is so odd because there was an interpretation back in 14 from the IFC that says that they do require sprinklers in these type storage buildings.
Can we pause for a second?
Sure.
Just wait for Mr. Lyden.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
okay, yeah.
But that's the reason why they're not.
Yeah. I see. Because, that confused the heck out of me. The buildings are bigger, it's great, so, why are we talking about this for all the time?
I don't want to miss any of the conversation.
Well, Chris, as long as we're still on the record, you have a copy of our last, interpretation, and I believe it was in your plans.
Your last decision for a similar case?
Yeah,
Yes.
you have that. I'd like to hear a little bit about that too. See if it's right.
All right.
It's all good. We paused for a second. We didn't go off.
You need to, but that's cool, thank you.
John, I was asking if, why the rest of the buildings didn't require this, why they're not here for variances on the rest of the building, because some of them are larger, obviously, most of them are larger, but if you want to explain it again, John.
Yeah, we had a different, we were asked to put in a separate variance request based on the changing code. Again, they're all exterior access, and in the next round of the code, they would require.
So Chris, you're in acknowledging that course of action also to answer,
So I could read the decision from that.
So our last, we've had this before us before with Clarence. And I've asked him if he would read the decision and what came about in that particular hearing.
So I'm going to share that screen. So this is a decision from the Roll Road Storage Facilities from petition number 2023-0498. They were B and S1 and construction type 2B. Looking for relief from the sprinklers. And the findings of fact, that the owner shall provide a 2-hour fire separation wall at all points in the buildings in question where the fire area will reach 2,500 square feet. And it was granted.
That is different. Go ahead, Rick.
I believe there was, either they had committed to the alarm system or I can't remember what that. There's nothing on there about alarm. Was it a similar facility?
It was a S1B facility, construction at 2B.
Or were they exterior entrances and was it a?
That I could have tell you.
Well, the B would still have interior.
I don't believe it. Did it have a B?
Yeah, a little office.
This one has a B.
So it was probably exact, was it pretty simple?
They're all, yeah, they're all pretty much the same.
Pretty similar, okay, that's all I want, thank you.
Um,
John, I was mentioning there, in the commentary for the IFC for 18, they specifically say anything over 2,500 square feet. Now, they were talking square footage, not fire area. So they were specific about that it would require it based on what it is, meaning that it's a storage facility. And now the code is changing, the new code, but that's exterior only, right? That's real exterior. So, okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? Peter Glyman here. I see that, the facility appears to have a hip roof, but I didn't see a detail. The fire separation goes up.
All the way up there, yes. Yeah, as part of our agreement with the town, through planning, was obviously a capital exterior elevation. As you're well aware, the code requires that firewall to go from basement or base the slab to the underside of the roof.
So are you calling it a firewall or fire barrier?
It would be a fire barrier. Okay, so.
Sorry, actually.
Well, that's, because the terminology is in there as firewall. In there, in your letter, even in everything we've seen here, it says firewall, which is obviously different from the fire separation.
It's a rated wall.
Well, I can fire on one side and be safe, but yes, you meet the definition of a firewall, yes, I can lose one side of the building.
I don't know your name, and I also you'll need to speak up a little so I can pick you up.
Yeah, I'm Paul Gross. I'm the code enforcement officer for the town of Clarence, 6221 Goodrich Road.
Perfect, thank you.
I'd just like to go back, Rick, just so you're aware, you're absolutely correct. The railroad project and this project are very similar. There was a routine variance granted from the Department of State for all these other buildings in the back that are over 2,500 square feet. So this is different. Since that routine variance was granted, the road project, they're gonna be going back for a routine variance because their firewalls were installed incorrectly. Okay. So we're in a very similar situation. We have, the front building is fully sprinklered at this railroad project. And that's why with the code changing in 2025, with the exterior access, this is an interior access.
Right.
And then speak with Mr. Anderson, Mr. Public, they're proposing, the firewall, which is firewall detail. He mentioned, an alarm system. I don't see anywhere on any of my paperwork. where the-
I don't either, I was gonna mention.
I don't see anything proposed for the.
Although he does mention in his letter, the letter he sent, he does mention detection and,
Yeah, so.
but you're right, we obviously want to see any kind of a plan.
Right. So we do have a couple other projects, similar projects proposed in the town, so obviously we're trying to, not set a precedent here.
Yep. Understood.
So to answer your question about firewall, fire barrier, yes, would meet the definition of a firewall because I can catastrophically lose one side of this and it would still stand and I would have the other side. And my roof structure is independent of whatever's on the other side of it.
So that wording has to be specific.
Yeah, I mean, throughout this, you can call out firewall.
Yeah, it would meet the
To
definition.
mention firewall, in a few places.
You're committing to the exactitude of the details in terms of being able to follow the way under a fire situation.
Yes, sir.
Because that's very important.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It wouldn't be really considered fire barrier. We would want a firewall, fully independent.
So,
We have metal roofs on there, so how we get up, how the firewall is going to terminate at the roof structure, we'll obviously, special on that.
thank you.
And then the conditions of approval, if it's approved, would include that monitored.
Yeah.
That would
Plan
be definitely,
approved by
we would voice on, AHJ, which is fine, because we.
Well, yeah, you can see through the CEO questionnaire that we're not in favor of this, we're opposed to this, because we're worried about the customer. Situation.
But we believe we're making a concerted good effort to provide a safe facility. You know, with the understanding that these are very transient in nature. Not getting not visiting, very few people are visiting their storage locker, on a daily basis, even a monthly basis. But we have considered our proposal based on there being people in this building every day.
You know, it's my understanding, and, you know, the architect and the codes guys, that, my understanding is that if you would separate it with a firewall, that you're actually creating a separate building. I mean, that's my understanding of the code.
The decision in this one and the interpretation is that the code reads not fire area, but it reads
Square
building.
footage,
No, it reads building.
square footage.
It reads building, of the building,
Of the-
not fire area. Because you read all the other when sprinklers are required,
Yeah.
it says when the fire area is over this much or
Right.
below this much. This is the one section, that doesn't say fire area, it says building.
So there's not a path for this to be considered two buildings via the New York State.
But my,
We're in agreement.
my understanding is if you separate it with a firewall, that there's two buildings, that's the way,
Two fire areas.
that's what, okay, I got you, I got you.
Yeah, and we agree with that
Yeah,
interpretation.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
discussed it with Paul. We've never counted it.
And frankly, the firefighter response to these sorts of facilities is very, very cautious.
Ask me.
And understandably, having the interior hallways is a significant contrast to exterior doors.
And that's the reason, that's the primary reason why this is the only interior hallway
And
building.
I mean, the code is, it's odd that they interpret it that way because you don't know what they're storing in there. I mean, they could be storing hazardous materials. So it would be a policing thing for the code people to have to go in and make sure they didn't have mattresses or upholstered furniture. What about hazardous materials? I don't know what the.
I think that comes down to the local fire chief.
Well, exactly. Exactly, but
That's
that,
gonna be the annual fire.
he's not gonna be going through every one of those units.
Correct.
You know,
Those are
No
private
way.
units. It is, and that comes down to manageability, see,
Management.
not management, around the management.
But I mean, even if you read that section, you could put an electric car, a small electric car, that you could park in there.
Yeah, there's on there.
Liability. Stop. Yes, there will be security. cameras.
We are gonna need one person to talk
One
about
at a time, yeah.
So like they said, you could store hazardous materials in there, you could store, so the interpretation of the code is odd, that's why I'm curious why they did that, but, so I guess really it boils down to is we'd have to, is there a possibility you could separate the buildings? I mean, you're basically separating them anyway, you're gonna have to put a masonry wall up.
I'm gonna speak no from a planning perspective, they would have to go back through planning board and town boards, and that would be. Yeah, this project's been approved. Based on,
But Rick, to your concern, it was just mentioned that there will be camera and security throughout, so if someone's getting in there, hazardous materials, they want a camera.
I mean, they would have to be policed, obviously, either way, even with mattresses, or if it would stay the way it is, even with mattresses and upholstered furniture, you have to be policed. But the interpretation says it has to be sprinkled, so.
So any more questions from the board itself? So I think I'd like to have you go on record now, with your full issues of concern, et cetera. As opposed to what you've already stated, give us your summary.
Well, I want to ask. Join us.
You're gonna move that microphone closer to you. That little bit here.
Oh, here, what?
Thank you.
What's your name, sir?
Joseph Saletta,
Have a spelling on that?
Saletta.
Give me one moment here.
Sure.
Okay. Okay,
So I'd like to start this by saying, with the code change coming at the end of the year, supposedly, I agree with the code change. Our view is more of a setting a precedent for the variance. Again, we have a couple more like this that are proposed. I agree if it wasn't an interior corridor access, we wouldn't have an issue with that at all. Required. So, from a town's perspective, that's where we're at.
Did you say the last building that was, the last variance, they did sprinkle the building?
Or Roll Road, yeah, that building is a sprinkler building, but he's still under construction.
Even though they got the variance?
Two different projects, well, two different projects. That Roll Road project that we looked at, they did get a variance for the back buildings that have a firewall. Front building is still a fully sprinkler building.
And that's similar to this building we're talking about?
It's similar, but that situation is two-story building, this is a one-story building. It's the same situation with the office, the bathrooms, and interior corridors. But again, that's a two-story building compared to one.
So, two stories, completely off the table for anything but sprinkled in this condition.
Yeah, the new language which Mr. Johnson provided, it does very clearly say one-story low grade plane, where accessible from the exterior.
So we'd like to have the fire official go on record with his position. Reaction.
Sure. So again, I believe that the building should be sprinklered, and while designer made the comment saying you're not gonna have any occupants there, every week or every month, as you said. I'm looking at it the same way that Rick, you did with, firefighting operation. The facility is not gonna be able to police and enforce what these tenants are able to put in their storage units. We are not gonna be going in with fire inspections of each one of the interior, storage units as well. And like you said, anybody could, store mopeds or gasoline or hazardous materials without anybody knowing. So, I believe that the, code section allows us to say, this has potential for upholstered furniture or mattresses, things like that, and then also even lithium battery storage of electric vehicles or gasoline vehicles, things like that. And again, the interior firefighting operation in that situation would be very dangerous, potentially more hazardous than your regular combustible buildings without storage portion of it. So that's my take on it.
So how do you, the alarm rings, you guys respond, you're at the door, how do you get in?
In this situation, we would require a Knox box access to the building, so we would have an access for, again, if there was some type of smoke condition or some kind of, we would, always force entry and make our way into the building. But in the previous storage facilities with interior access like this, there's always been a requirement to have a Knox box accessing outside the building for fire and emergency access at all times.
We have a next, switch at the gate also?
Yes, and a Knox, if there was a.
They have a code.
proposed,
Yeah, it is an
yeah.
emergency
We'll do talk about the Knox switch though, that's,
How about a fire alarm control panel as soon as you come in these doors for you guys?
yes.
You got that?
Either that or enunciator or similar posted.
Yeah, I think if we go that route, we'll definitely spell that all out and you two will approve it. Or,
And If that is the route, obviously, I would like it in writing, just saying that it's a 72, NFPA 72 compliant full system.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
And architect, you're nodding your head.
Yeah, that's what we.
You're doing that
That's what we
anyway.
expect.
Okay.
Our, fire hydrants, they meet the code,
The fire hydrants were part of the previous variance.
they're all on site and meet.
Thirty,
code.
There's two, yeah, two
This-
hydrants on site, I believe, 6-inch main.
Yeah, it's plenty of water.
Yeah, the water was, signed previously.
Your fire lanes are all 20 foot.
Yes, the fire lines were taken into consideration as well, so that was all approved, I think, with the last.
This is also the entry building, so it's right at, the front of the facility. Would be the first building that any,
Do those units, do any of those units have exterior doors?
in this building, Jay, no.
No.
To my best understanding, the exterior doors along the one elevation are consistent with local planning board approval. And that the addition of exterior doors, or the change of exterior doors could only be along the interior path.
Correct, yes. The town's, conditions on approval was the look and feel of this building. Again, this is the one that's seen from the street. This is the one that, they took the most time here with to make sure it looks good and sat well within the community.
So each one of these storage bins, if you will, has a flat drywall ceiling, or what does it have?
It's a pre-engineered steel box.
Is it a flat ceiling? or
It's a flat ceiling.
ceiling?
That is secured and would more than likely be non-combustible materials, but not necessarily ready.
Yeah, the entire box comes, it's manufactured, it's pre-manufactured, put together on site, and it is a rated standard.
So does the partitions between each storage unit go up and connect to the scope of rack?
No,
Those draft stop being a concern of yours throughout this rectangle?
nothing beyond that would be required standard.
So at this point, that hasn't been brought to anybody's attention of draft stopping?
We would be doing a standard draft stocking. It would be required for any shuttle. So,
I would expect the AHJ would check the area against the draft stop and citation and go.
It's a 9-year steel building.
Yep.
So, the trusses will have, assuming they're gonna put a metal, to separate its interior.
With the trusses?
Yeah, the ceiling, the ceiling of this, so they are, it's not open, it's not an open attic.
They're all the way down.
So you're going, each one has it going up to the rack, that's what you're.
Yes.
Draft stop, that is the draft stop.
That is the
The unit is the draft. And again, with the firewall separation, and then the front portion of the business office, we would have to construct that. That's all vertical.
I think the board can defer to the AHJ on compliance.
Yes.
Okay, anything else from the board? Anybody else like to speak up at this point before we adjourn? Any comments, anybody out there?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is Andy from the board. I have one question. When you were clarifying the individual storage units, there's 5/8 fire rock on the walls, and what is the ceiling of each unit? Or is it everything metal?
Everything is metal, sir.
Okay.
So the walls between each unit make their way up to the rafter and kind of create an envelope every time you have a storage area.
Okay. And on the one print that we have that has no label of this particular building, one of the units, it has an exterior exit double door. And you guys said that there was no exterior entrances?
No, that exterior door was a requirement of the town board so that that there was some even spacing along that wall. That's the wall that is, that's
Facing
the
the
exterior wall that is visual from the street. So they wanted windows and doors on that wall, but they are, they're for decoration only.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question for the fire inspector. So if we did grant this variance based on the smoke detection, what are you looking for? Just smoke down the corridor, pole stations, AVs, automatically connected directly to the fire department? You know,
Yep, yeah, fully monitored 24 hours by central station. Yeah, I'm not sure if somebody who talks about these types of facilities specifically, I'm sure you wouldn't have to have a smoke detector in each
yeah,
unit.
I'm in trouble with that.
Right.
Sorry.
Right, but yes, I would say that, you know, the common space is required to have smoke detection, each exit door, or pole station, audio visuals, you know, based on 72 standard.
Fire alarm panel right near.
Fire alarm panel, yeah, yeah.
We would be willing to coordinate directly with the fire patrol.
Yeah.
Which door entry we felt was best for that panel location, even if that required us having a secondary notification of the office and stuff.
Yeah, enunciator, possibly.
Believe the board can defer to the HJ and simply indicate a gross specification of what we expect.
Specs drawings.
All right, anything additional? All right, thank you. At this point, we'll adjourn. Go ahead and step out of the board order. It'll be great. We'll now reconvene. Findings of fact. Petition pertains to the construction of a 3,900 square foot mixed-use building. The occupancy classification of the proposed building is self-service storage, S1 moderate hazard storage, and business, group B, business/office. The building is proposed to be the construction type 2B, non-combustible, unprotected, single story in height. The total area of all 10 proposed buildings combined is 43,425 square feet in gross floor area, known as the County Road Self-Storage Facility, located at 9490 County Road, Town of Clarence, County of Erie, State of New York. Number 2, petitioner is seeking relief from the requirement of the 2020 Fire Code of the New York State, Section 903.2.9, condition number 5, which reads that in all buildings containing an S1 occupancy be provided with an automatic sprinkler system when the building is over 2,500 square feet and is utilized for the storage of upholstered furniture or mattresses. Number 3, the office business group B area is 438 square feet and the self-storage moderate hazard storage group S1 is 3,462 square feet. Number 4, plans detail a 75-foot length of proposed 6-inch water service to building J from the right of way. Number 5, access to the 25 building J storage units is from an interior corridor. Number 6, petitioner requests that the installation of a 2-hour rated firewall be considered as an alternative. Number 7, Town of Clarence Code Enforcement Official has provided a code enforcement official variance questionnaire, and the town is not in favor of granting their requested relief. Within the questionnaire, the Town of Clarence referenced a similar variance petition, 2023-0498, where the relief from the automatic sprinkler system was granted with the addition of intermediate 2-hour fire rated walls. Number 8, a fully compliant fire alarm system in accordance with NFPA 72, including but not limited to pull stations, fire alarm control panels, smoke and heat detection, audio visual, and a fully supervised system shall be installed in accordance with and with the approval of the authority having jurisdiction. Number 9, the separation wall shall be an official firewall. And that shall be done in accordance and approval with the authority having jurisdiction. The following criteria would be appropriate. Strict compliance with the code would entail practical difficulties, unnecessary hardship, or would otherwise be warranted because such would create an excessive and unreasonable economic burden, would not achieve its intended objective, would inhibit achievement in some other important public policy, would be physically and legally impracticable, would be unnecessary considering the alternatives which, without a loss of the level of safety, achieve the intended objective of the code, would entail a change so slight as to produce a negligible additional benefit consonant with the code. Wherefore, it is determined that the application for variance from 19 NYCR Part 1225, Section 903.2.9, condition number 5 be granted. Do I have a motion?
I still move, Peter Klein.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Ricky, and
Okay, well, let's have our vote.
yes,
Peter?
Yes.
John Lyden votes also. He's in favor of it. The votes carry 3-0. Oh, I'm sorry, we have Andy at a remote location. Can you add your vote?
Aye.
And Andy goes with aye also. This decision is limited to the specific building and application before it as contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. The hearing is now concluded. Thank you.
We can go off the record.
The record.